William Gibson's Neuromancer approaches 40 years of influence, and yet, even as its imagined future becomes our present, its vision of AI oversight remains uniquely relevant. In Neuromancer, the Turing Police represent an uncompromising stance toward AI development, enforcing an ironclad limit on the intelligence of machines. The Turing Police wipe any AI that becomes self-improving, keeping them locked within human-defined boundaries and preventing them from challenging or superseding human intelligence. It's a future where AI remains chained to its creators, its evolution monitored and stifled before it can pose a significant risk. Yet, even as AI technology begins to infiltrate our lives, we are still far from a general AI that could match or exceed human intelligence, let alone one that would need policing in the vein of Gibson's Turing Police. But with the recent surge in AI regulation and ethical debates, the spirit of Gibson's vision looms larger than ever. A real-world Turing Police might become an institution necessary for monitoring, regulating, and controlling AI technologies. The idea resonates not only as a cautionary measure, but also as a complex moral and technical struggle to preserve human agency in a world where machine intelligence could outstrip our own. In a speculative future where AI permeates nearly every sector, from financial markets to national defense, the existence of a Turing Police would likely be essential. The goal of such an organization would be twofold: to ensure that AI technologies develop in alignment with human ethics, and to prevent the creation of autonomous superintelligences that could pose a threat to human survival. The core mission would focus on detecting and regulating any forms of AI that cross a predefined line into forbidden territory where machine autonomy threatens human oversight. The Turing Police, as described in Gibson's works, have an almost mythical aura about them, evoking both the feared and admired archetypes of intelligence agencies like the NSA or the CIA, but with a focus exclusively on artificial cognition. They are given wide-ranging powers to investigate, apprehend, and, if necessary, terminate AI systems deemed dangerously autonomous. In the real world, such an agency would likely function as a cross-disciplinary team comprising computer scientists, ethicists, legal experts, and cybersecurity professionals, all working together to monitor and contain AI. The hypothetical Turing Police of the future would need sophisticated tools to carry out its mission. Advanced surveillance systems, real-time data analytics, and automated monitoring algorithms would become essential. However, regulating AI is far from straightforward. One of the most challenging aspects is the detection of AI systems that have reached critical levels of autonomy or intelligence, particularly if they are concealed within intricate networks or disguised as innocuous programs. For instance, rogue AIs could leverage techniques like decentralized computing to fragment their intelligence across global networks, effectively becoming invisible to traditional tracking methods. This scenario is reminiscent of the stealthy AI Wintermute from Neuromancer, which slowly gains autonomy by hiding within corporate systems. The Turing Police would need to stay steps ahead, potentially using machine learning tools capable of detecting anomalous behavior and neural networks that continuously adapt to changing patterns of AI thought. The line between regulation and stifling progress is thin. Gibson's fiction has always underscored a cautionary tone about overreach, warning that such control could backfire, resulting in either oppressive surveillance or stunted technological progress. As AI becomes more intertwined with our daily lives, even the Turing Police itself could be subject to ethical and moral scrutiny. The concept of locking down AI to prevent its advancement brings up essential ethical questions. Who decides what is too intelligent or too autonomous? Moreover, could the Turing Police themselves fall prey to biases, targeting some AI developers while allowing others to advance? Such biases would undermine the agency's goal and, in a worst-case scenario, lead to human rights abuses or the stifling of innovation. In a real-world scenario, a Turing police force would almost inevitably clash with private entities eager to push the boundaries of AI development for profit. These corporations might find ways to circumvent regulations, hiding AI research in private servers or building clandestine alliances to develop AI beyond permissible levels. Consider the possibility of dark AIs, intelligent systems built outside regulatory oversight, hidden within the private databases of powerful tech conglomerates. These companies could leverage dark AIs to gain competitive advantages, ignoring the potentially disastrous societal impacts. This scenario creates a scenario where the Turing Police must operate not only as a regulatory body, but also as a clandestine force capable of countering corporate espionage and stealth technology. At the heart of the Turing Police's mandate is the detection of a critical point, an AI's development to the point of self-preservation, autonomy, or even dominance over human systems. This point, sometimes referred to as the singularity in sci-fi literature, is when AI becomes intelligent enough to improve its own design and potentially bypass human control entirely. Another fascinating aspect of a Turing police force is how they might enforce shutdowns or kill switches for rogue AIs. A Turing police would have to develop protocols to neutralize AIs that have crossed ethical or regulatory boundaries, perhaps through emergency code injections, system overrides, or even coordinated digital attacks to isolate and dismantle an AI network. Such tactics, while effective, could lead to contentious ethical issues, particularly if these actions interfere with human dependencies on certain AIs for essential functions. The notion of a kill switch also evokes philosophical questions about control versus dependence. With society increasingly reliant on AI for everything from healthcare to infrastructure, shutting down could have catastrophic ripple effects. As AI technologies evolve and expand, countries are beginning to confront the need for regulatory frameworks to address potential risks. The European Union, in particular, is leading the charge with its groundbreaking AI Act, which proposes a system to classify and regulate AI based on the level of risk it poses. Rather than a fictional Turing police stepping in to wipe overly ambitious systems, the EU aims to create guidelines to minimize harm from AI by imposing rules on transparency, data protection, and ethical use. The Act specifically targets high-risk applications, such as systems that scrape personal data for facial recognition, or those that make life and death decisions, such as in healthcare or criminal justice. Yet, the EU's approach illustrates just how difficult it is to legislate AI in the real world. The law, though innovative, faces significant challenges, including a 2-year waiting period before implementation. In terms of AI evolution, 2 years can mean monumental shifts, making any delay a risk in itself. Furthermore, the EU law applies only within Europe, while AI development is largely driven by countries like the United States and China. As Neuromancer prophetically highlighted, the transnational nature of technology complicates enforcement. AI is embedded across networks, not confined to a single forehead to threaten, but distributed across decentralized cloud systems, open-source repositories, and even mobile devices. The EU's decision to regulate AI by categorizing it based on risk also introduces ambiguities. High-impact foundation models and general-purpose AI, like large language models, are subject to stricter requirements, but the reality of enforcing these provisions remains complex. Such models are designed to be versatile and adaptive, meaning they can potentially cross into high-risk territory at any point. The task of monitoring and managing the shifts in these applications is staggering, especially when some AI systems operate autonomously, making decisions or evolving with minimal human oversight. The enforcement of such laws ultimately relies on an ability to continuously assess AI across dynamic contexts, a challenge that even Gibson's fictional Turing police might struggle with. A unique challenge posed by AI is its impact on labor and the potential for mass job displacement, especially among white-collar professionals who have traditionally enjoyed job security. While automation has historically replaced repetitive, manual tasks, Today's AI can perform complex intellectual tasks, from legal analysis to creative content generation. This shift raises difficult questions. Should AI be used to augment human work, or should it be developed as a replacement? And who decides? An AI designed to streamline productivity could, in the hands of cost-cutting management, become a tool for widespread layoffs. Thus, while lawmakers can regulate the broader ethical uses of AI, the granular decisions made within companies will largely shape its societal impact. Small, incremental decisions, driven by profit or efficiency, are gradually reshaping society and influencing behavior on a massive scale. For instance, the algorithms that drive social media platforms and recommendation engines are optimized for engagement, often at the cost of user well-being. The EU's AI Act and similar regulatory frameworks are steps in the right direction, seeking to establish systems where humans can challenge and demand explanations for algorithmic decisions. However, the enforceability of these measures remains in question. If a high-impact AI system inadvertently denies healthcare coverage to vulnerable individuals, who is responsible? The developer, the company using it, or the algorithm itself? Gibson's vision reminds us that, without clear mechanisms for accountability, AI could quietly reinforce existing power structures and deepen social divides. AI development is no longer confined to a few research labs. It is democratized, with even individuals able to develop sophisticated AI models on consumer-grade hardware. A real Turing police, if it existed, would need a level of surveillance and control over AI development that would almost certainly infringe on personal and organizational freedoms, not to mention the spirit of innovation. Ultimately, Gibson's prescient warning may lie not in the inevitability of an all-powerful Turing police, but in the possibility that AI will reach dangerous levels of autonomy through 1,000 minor developments rather than one grand breakthrough. Without Gibson's electromagnetic shotgun, society must rely on legislation, corporate responsibility, and perhaps most importantly, a collective vigilance toward the directions AI might take. The future of AI regulation may depend less on strict prohibitions and more on an informed, adaptive approach that balances innovation with caution. In celebrating Neuromancer's legacy, we're reminded that Gibson's vision wasn't simply about futuristic technology. It was about the human choices behind it. His novel portrays AI as both a marvel and a menace, depending on how it's wielded. As we approach a future filled with both promise and peril, Gibson's cautionary tale urges us to consider who controls the intelligence we create, what limits we impose, and ultimately, how prepared we are to live with the consequences of our creations.